Dear friends, welcome back to another episode of The Informant. Today we're diving deep into the escalating conflict in the Middle East, where Israel has ramped up its offensive against Hezbollah in Lebanon, triggering a mass exodus of Lebanese citizens. Could Lebanon be on the verge of becoming the next Gaza Strip? But before we get started, make sure you're subscribed to the channel with notifications turned on. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. On September 23, 2024, tensions along the Israel-Lebanon border reached a critical breaking point. According to Lebanon's Ministry of Health, over 356 Lebanese citizens lost their lives, and 1,146 others were wounded in what has become the deadliest day since the 2006 war between Israel and Hezbollah. The Israeli Defense Forces, IDF, launched strikes on homes in Lebanon, claiming that Hezbollah was storing missiles there and urging civilians to evacuate. This sparked widespread chaos, with thousands fleeing their homes, creating scenes of absolute despair and confusion. Social media quickly flooded with footage showing lines of cars stretching for miles, families packing their belongings, desperate to escape the escalating violence. Lebanese hospitals are now in crisis mode, bracing for a surge of casualties, while the Ministry of Health has called for postponing non-urgent surgeries. Meanwhile, civilians have been receiving text alerts to vacate areas suspected of harboring Hezbollah weapons, intensifying the physical and psychological warfare gripping the region. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced a shift from a defensive to an offensive stance, stating that the goal was to dismantle Hezbollah's capabilities before they posed a greater threat. The IDF released footage of secondary explosions, which they claimed were proof of Hezbollah weapons caches hidden in civilian areas. However, this aggressive approach has resulted in significant civilian casualties and the displacement of tens of thousands of people. So, what's next? Will Israel go as far as launching a full-scale invasion into southern Lebanon, as it did in Gaza? While only the Israeli High Command knows the full extent of their strategy, many believe these decisive actions could include intensifying airstrikes on Hezbollah's missile depots and executing more precise strikes against the group's leadership within Lebanon. But make no mistake, this isn't just an isolated conflict between Israel and Hezbollah. It's a regional war involving Hamas in Gaza, Hezbollah in Lebanon, Iran, the Houthis in Yemen, and Shiite militias in Iraq and Syria. Just recently, Ibrahim Aqil, a senior commander of Hezbollah's elite Radwan force, was killed in an Israeli airstrike in Beirut. Aqil had been injured in previous blasts, but was released from the hospital just days before the attack. Israel has also eliminated key figures like Hezbollah's Fuad Shukr and Hamas's Ismail Haniyeh, further inflaming the region. Hezbollah has vowed retaliation, while Iran promises retribution for the loss of its allies. Historically, skirmishes between Hezbollah and Israel are nothing new. After Hamas launched its attack on October 7th of last year, Hezbollah began firing rockets into Israel. Thousands of Israeli civilians were evacuated from northern regions due to Hezbollah's presence in southern Lebanon, forcing Israel to maintain tens of thousands of troops in the area to counter a possible Hezbollah assault. But despite these threats, Hezbollah has stuck to its usual tactics: indiscriminate rocket fire aimed mainly at civilian areas. This confrontation is far from over. Hezbollah, with its vast arsenal, is a far larger and better equipped force than Hamas. Founded by Iran in 1982 to export the Islamic Revolution across the Middle East, Hezbollah has since evolved into a powerful political and military force, holding about 12% of the seats in the Lebanese parliament. Today, Hezbollah boasts an extensive stockpile of missiles and rockets, many supplied by Iran. They also possess drones like the Shahed 129, which Russia has extensively used in the Ukraine war. Hezbollah's asymmetric strategy aims to overwhelm Israel's Iron Dome defense system by launching large-scale missile barrages. In addition, they have anti-aircraft missiles, which they've used to shoot down Israeli drones and aircraft during recent clashes. This enormous firepower has led to multiple wars with Israel, the last major conflict being from July 12 to August 14, 2006, when Hezbollah terrorists crossed into Israel, killing soldiers and kidnapping 2 others, sparking a brief but intense war that left hundreds dead and thousands injured. Following Israel's withdrawal from Lebanon, the UN passed Resolution 1701, deploying a peacekeeping force in southern Lebanon and mandating that Hezbollah withdraw its fighters and weapons from areas south of the Litani River, about 18 miles from Israel's border. Yet, as current footage shows, Hezbollah has blatantly violated this resolution, maintaining a powerful arsenal close to the Israeli border, which it continues to use against both military and civilian targets in northern Israel. With Hamas severely weakened in Gaza, reduced to a fraction of its former self after the October 7th terror attack, Israel is now free to focus more aggressively on Hezbollah. However, unlike Gaza, where Israel has vowed to stay until Hamas is entirely dismantled, there are no plans for a large-scale invasion of southern Lebanon, at least not yet. Israel's main objective remains ensuring that Hezbollah respects UN Resolution 1701 by pulling back to the north of the Litani River and ceasing its attacks on Israeli towns and villages along the border. What we're witnessing is not just a series of military strikes, but a calculated move to shift the security dynamics of the region. Israel appears determined to push Hezbollah back from its northern border to ensure the safety of its citizens. As rockets continue to rain down on Israel and airstrikes pound Lebanon, the international community watches with bated breath, fearing that this could spiral into a much broader conflict. The human toll is mounting on both sides, and there's no sign of the violence slowing down. Since Hezbollah's attacks began, Israel has responded with precise strikes, primarily targeting the group's leadership and infrastructure, eliminating dozens of high-ranking commanders. Bold operations such as the remote detonation of thousands of Hezbollah's pagers and walkie-talkies have resulted in nearly 3,000 terrorist casualties. Despite these efforts, Hezbollah remains defiant, continuing its assault on northern Israel. Israeli officials, including Defense Minister Yoav Gallant and Prime Minister Netanyahu, have openly declared that they are preparing for more decisive actions in Lebanon, aiming to secure the safe return of the 70,000 Israeli civilians displaced by Hezbollah's attacks. While Israel insists that it does not seek a full-scale war with Lebanon, ground incursions into Hezbollah strongholds in southern Lebanon can't be ruled out. Israel's airstrikes have escalated significantly since last weekend, with missiles raining down almost continuously on southern Lebanon, and Israeli authorities urging Lebanese civilians to distance themselves from Hezbollah members and facilities. One key question remains. If Iran decides to escalate, are the U.S. forces in the region prepared to respond? The answer is likely yes. The U.S. military presence is crucial in maintaining a balance of power in Israel's favor and deterring Iran from retaliating. Hezbollah, as the most powerful non-state terrorist organization in the world, continues to pose one of the greatest challenges to Israel. Since its creation in the wake of Israel's 1982 withdrawal from Lebanon, Hezbollah has enjoyed significant military and political support from Iran. In conclusion, Hezbollah remains a highly dangerous and heavily armed organization, presenting a serious threat to Israel and regional stability. The conflict between Israel and Hezbollah shows no signs of abating, and the U.S. presence in the area plays a vital role in maintaining the balance of power and preventing a full-scale war. If Hezbollah continues to violate UN resolutions and attack Israeli territory, Israel may have no choice but to launch incursions into Lebanese territory to drive them out. If you value independent journalism and want to support our work, consider buying us a coffee through the QR code on the screen. Your contribution is essential for us to continue bringing quality analysis and information. Stay tuned for more updates, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for the latest analyses and insights on the world's most urgent geopolitical issues.
I have a message for the people of Lebanon. Israel's war is not with you. It's with Hezbollah. For too long, Hezbollah has been using you as human shields. It placed rockets in your living rooms and missiles in your garage. Those rockets and missiles are aimed directly at our cities, directly at our citizens. To defend our people against Hezbollah strikes, we must take out those weapons. Now, starting this morning, the IDF has warned you to get out of harm's way. I urge you, take this warning seriously. Don't let Hezbollah endanger your lives and the lives of your loved ones. Don't let Hezbollah endanger Lebanon. Please, get out of harm's way now. Once our operation is finished, you can come back safely to your homes.